Oh my God, I have to watch this.
All right, Charlie Jones.
I mean,
Charlie,
this guy is
you were the
literally,
warden
this guy is the soft white underbelly, dude.
at Holman Prison in Atmore, Alabama.
Right.
How many years were you the warden at Holman?
30. Oh, well, I was warden for 18. I worked in the prison system for 35.
35 years. And you grew up where? In Alabama?
Right here.
Tell me about your childhood. You had both your parents?
Yeah.
How would you describe your childhood?
Oh, just normal. Went to school, finished school, went to college, finished.
You should ask him how many black men with mental disabilities have you executed throughout your career, which I'm sure he will ask.
That.
That were also innocent on top of that.
Come back here, built a house, and I'm 9 miles from the prison. I lived here most of the time. I've been moved around all over the state at different prisons.
How many prisoners did you have at Holman?
Approximately 1,000.
And you had death row inmates at Holman?
Right.
Holman's the only prison in Alabama that has
Right.
the death penalty, has executions, right? As warden for 18 years, what's your view on the death penalty? Do you see it as an effective way to control crime or keep
Bro, this is the boss of thumbs, dude.
society in line?
Well, I think you have to on bad cases. You can't, for certain things you can do other things, but the way death row was set up, it's pretty bad. You have to have pretty bad crime to be put on death row. You have to have a combination of murder, robbery, murder, rape, or something like that before you qualify for it. But sooner or later, these other non-serious crimes, in my view, will have to be done other ways because the taxpayer's not going to pay to have all of them locked.
Oh my God. Chat, the thumb emperor is saying we should start murdering people who are doing petty theft. Because the taxpayers are just paying for them to stay in prison indefinitely.
There's too many of them.
It gets expensive, right?
Yeah.
So as warden...
Ironic because murdering is actually... death row is literally more expensive than, having the inmate be there permanently.
At Holman, part of your job was to perform the executions, right?
Right.
You're using the electric chair or lethal injections?
It was a chair.
So by the time a man gets to the electric chair, where do you see your role in the end of his life? Do you see it as you're responsible for that? You're the one that's pulling the trigger?
Well, technically, I guess I was, but a lot of things happen between the time that he's arrested and the time he has to sit in that chair. It's a long, drawn-out process that can last as long as 20 years, sometimes longer than that.
There's a lot of steps a suspect would have to go through before he sits in the electric chair, right?
Yep. A crime committed, and there's an investigation, and then they follow the investigation until they...
Dude, what's wrong with this guy?
Arrest somebody. And then he's arraigned, and then he's tried, and 12 people sit in judgment on him. And if he's convicted, he goes to prison, goes to death row.
Zelda tonight.
Then his appeal process starts, and it is long and drawn out. Alabama Supreme Court, Court of Criminal Appeals, state court, it can last on and on.
So by the time he gets to the electric chair, it's pretty certain that he's guilty.
By the time, yeah, well, not always. There's some time.
Oh my God, he's admitting it.
They can go right up pretty close to the time, And the attorney come up with something that he appealed one last time to the Alabama Supreme Court, and they'll give him a stay. It don't always last. Might last a day, might last a week, might last 3 or 4 years. But most of the time,
we always get them.
once I'm served or was served with a warrant, a death warrant, then it's getting really serious. I get that warrant 30 days prior to the date. And during that time, the attorneys for both sides, they get busy. And they try to come up with something to stop it. Sometimes they do, and by that time, most times they didn't.
What is that death row inmate's last moments like before he is executed? Can you describe that?
Well, you talking about the day of.
The day of, yeah.
Well, the day of, the inmate would spend most of the day with his family on the visiting yard. We'd leave him out there approximately 2 hours before the time to get him ready. And we'd take him off the visiting yard, escort him back to his cell. The execution team would get him dressed, shave his head, shave his ankle, left ankle, and get him ready. By that time, it's right around 12 a.m., 12:01 a.m., and they would call me. I'd be in my office. I stayed in my office.
12 a.m., midnight.
Do what?
Midnight.
Yeah. I'd stay in my office while they did that in case we got a call from the governor or from the attorney general or from the court putting it off. If we didn't, then somebody would man the phone while I would go to the death chamber. By the time I got down there, they've got him in the chair, strapped in, ready to go. By law, I had to read that death warrant to him. And I would ask him if he had any last request or statement. Most of them didn't. If not, then I would tell the 2 officers in the death chamber to make him ready. Final.
So nuts, dude.
Can you share your favorite chicken recipe? I want to get jacked.
He's so matter of fact about it. You know what I mean?
Final readiness was putting the helmet on him and putting the ankle bracelet on him. And then I would leave the death chamber, go in next door to the equipment room. The 2 officers would come out. We didn't want to leave anybody in there with him for fear that somebody might.
The fly will not leave this guy alone. The stench of death is all on him, dude. You know what I mean? You got the stench of death right on him now. Let me tell you now.
Pass out and fall into him. And once they come out, they'd give me a signal, tap on the door, and it was all over with.
It's just a flip of a switch?
Press of a button.
Press of a button. How did this affect you personally, doing this?
Well,
How many did you perform?
I did 17 men and 1 woman.
How did it affect you personally?
Well, that's a good question. I've never let their problem become my problem. And I didn't put them there. I didn't go out and arrest them and sit in judgment on them. Once they got there, that was their problem. And they knew that. And I tried to treat them in such a way and had my staff treat them in such a way that when the time came, you know, we didn't have to look away from them. We could look them in the eye and let them know what's fixing to take place and what to watch for, and, you know, here it comes.
Damn, that's so
And
nice.
afterwards, you know, it lays on your mind. It did me, but not a guilt thing. Just hoping that I had done everything to be sure that his case was as perfect as it could be, that there was in no way me or my staff the cause of him having to sit in that chair when maybe he shouldn't have. If he shouldn't have, then it was somebody else's mishandling, not us.
Notice how his anger isn't about potentially executing an innocent man, or his fears are not about potentially executing an innocent man, but his fears are like, did I fuck something up? No, I didn't. Okay, if it's someone else's problem, then it's fine. Do you see what I'm saying? I paused it at a wonderful time because it's about to go lower, folks. You're about to see some other stuff. There's a rat by your soup, says HasanAbi. Thanks.
So, you know, I don't lose sleep over it. To tell you the truth, very seldom think about it.
What kind of reactions would you see from the men as they approach their last day?
Not a lot. Most of them was ready. They would, you know, we would take them out of their regular cell 24 hours ahead of time and put them in what we call the ready cell, the death cell. Once we got them down there and they were away from all their friends on the cell block, they settled down really well. I can only recall one that seemed like he carried a grudge to the chair, but the rest of them.
Oh my God, look at this. Look at the fucking boot cut, entirely too long jeans where the fucking bottom is like ripped up because he keeps stepping on it with his fucking shoes. Jesus
Is this the
Christ.
part where I turn into a hate
Every
watcher?
goddamn part of this, brother, this is all kinds of fucked up. You know what I'm saying? Not tell you.
Them didn't. They let it go, and most of them, at one time or another, during that short period, admitted what they done.
Eventually, they admitted their crimes.
Yeah.
Thank you, HasanAbi, for the 11 months follow.
Not all of them, but most of them.
Is there one in particular that stood out in your memory?
Yeah, but I can't recall his name. Hey, you've seen people that...
Dude, that's nuts, dude. He murdered so many people that he can't remember one's name, dude. Even a memorable one, he's like, I can't recall his name.
Carried, I don't know what you'd call it, but they was mad all the time. You had to be careful how you spoke to them. You say good morning to them, they get...
Murdered? The fuck you talking about? Yes, state-sanctioned murder. Execution. You heard me, bitch.
Get mad at you. That's kind of the way this guy was.
What do you think the core cause is of a hardened criminal's behavior? I mean, do you think it was his...
I don't agree with the act either, but isn't murder if it's state-sanctioned? I don't give a fuck what you think, dude. I think it's murder, bitch. Just because you personally believe that the state has the monopoly on violence doesn't mean that, like, I think it's justifiable. Oh, shit, the sword is pushing the painting. Good call.
environment or his family or his brain chemistry? What do you think is the cause of what makes a criminal?
I don't know. If I knew that, I could probably rest easy the rest of my life. I don't know. I think it's a combination of things. I think a lot of them grew up without a father, not knowing who their father was.
Murder is always legal in the hands of the state. That doesn't make it right. That doesn't make it not murder.
And getting with the wrong crowd as they grew up, making bad choices, and going around trying to take away stuff that didn't belong to them.
It all goes hand in hand, doesn't it?
Do what?
It all goes hand in hand.
It's, you know, to answer your question, I think it's a combination of all that stuff.
And you're retired now, but in your decades of working in the prison system, how have you seen criminals change? I mean, do you see they're more violent? How are they different now than they were in the past? Drugs are a bigger part of the picture now, right?
Most of the inmates in the regular population that maybe didn't come to prison because of drugs, but drugs was always involved.
How do you look at this part of your life that you had? I mean, this chapter of your life.
Okay, you should ask him, do you think like those people deserve to be there? What do you feel about all the people that you incarcerated for? What do you feel about all the people that were in your prison, okay? And they had like minor drug offenses, minor drug charges, like weed. I want to hear him say, I don't give a fuck. Drugs are legal.
It's certainly very unusual. How do you view it?
Well, I guess I look at it like anybody else looks at something that they do, a farmer or whatever. It's something that I did.
Why would staff care why people are in his jail? Are you fucking stupid? Why are we even asking him questions then as a warden? The entire point of this is, I'm not saying he's at fault here, you fucking moron. I just want to know how he pairs up with it, with his own morality. Why are people like this, dude? I don't understand why people are like, he's just doing his job. Yeah, guess what? That was the fucking Nuremberg defense, okay? So shut the fuck up.
And I knew what it was when I took the job. It wasn't no surprise, you know. I knew that eventually that I'd have to do that. And now, you know, I look back on it, and I know I did everything I could to see that they were treated, not just at death row, but all of them, that were treated right, wasn't abused. And at the same time, now, we didn't.
It's funny how a pimp who's grooming young girls in the prostitution is deserving more respect from you than a guy whose job it is to execute convicted murderers. Listen, motherfucker. First and foremost, the pimp in that situation is more of a victim of his circumstances than this motherfucker is, okay? That's one. Two, I didn't say the pimp deserves respect from me for grooming young girls or some shit. I said that despite his circumstances, he had a unique approach to sex work that was more progressive than like most people.
Already coming from hurtful environments, you know, and I always had an older mentality. I grew up fast. I grew up around, you know, older people. Like all my friends when I was young were already well in their 30s. You know what I'm saying? Into their 30s, well into their 40s, you know? That's why now me being in my 30s, you know, all my friends is 50s and 60s. You know, I don't really have too many young friends, you know? Few, but not a lot. You know, that's how I came into it, man, was you had to grow up fast. You had to move fast. I didn't choose that shit. That shit chose me. You know? I didn't ask for none of it, man. It's just life. Life has a calling for everybody. It's mine, I guess.
Yeah. What would you say if one of your girls one day decides she wants to work as a prostitute?
Say that again?
If one of your daughters one day decides she wants to work as a prostitute.
I'll tell you right now, man, do I want my daughter being a prostitute? No, I don't want my daughter being a prostitute. I don't think any man wants their daughter being a prostitute. But you know what? This is life. I can't stop that. All I can do is just try to embed into her as much as I can that, hey, baby, this is the path that you take in your life.
Oh my God. What the fuck? This is like, This guy is crazy, dude. He's like, I was unironically not expecting that at all. He's like, yeah, you know, my daughter will have autonomy and will choose whatever the fuck she wants to do.
You know, but if she goes and that's what she does, man, she grown. What can I say? What can I do, man? This is life. This is life we live in.
Thank God I didn't have this guy on while I was cooking, because otherwise the entire chat would have become pimps. You would all be leaving me to, you know, go watch Sharpie.
Man, I can't control it. You can't control it. Can you control life and what's happening outside this door right now? Because I know I damn sure can't. And this shit's rough. Let's look at what's going on. I want to go out here. Let's talk to everybody right now. Take the camera and tell them, hey, man, come on, man. Let me do, hey, I'm running this. No. Because everybody's got their own lives, man, their own paths, man. I can't stop that, my daughter being a prostitute. Do I want her to be one? Fuck no. But if that's what she's gonna be, I'm gonna respect it. I'm at least game her shit. Go get with something real. Don't play yourself short. There's too many people that's outside right now, outside this door, that's playing themselves short right now. Right now, it's thousands of them. Mm-hmm. Thousands of them we can go talk to right now. Hey, man, when did you start playing yourself short? Oh, it was a summer.
When they were 4 years old.
You know, when did you start playing yourself, man?
Okay? And lastly, yeah, the pimp himself was fucking groomed, as you described.
Happy belated
And
birthday,
lastly,
King.
yeah, no, I disrespect this person. I don't respect the fucking prison wardens. I don't think what they do is good. I think what this guy is doing is horrible.
Oh wow,
Okay.
16, just like the amount of times Hassie has fucked my mom.
Horrible.
We didn't let them do us that way either, but we didn't have that much trouble. And I look back on that is that I did all I could to be sure they were treated right. I've met them on the street, and they would run to me with a hand out. And, you know, some of them I'd recognize, some of them I didn't, and they'd have to tell me who they were. I've had some of them tell me, you know, I kept them from getting in bad trouble in prison. And I knew by that something I could gauge what I did. Maybe I did all I could to do what was right. I don't have any regrets of anything. And the main thing, I mentioned it a while ago, I did not let people put me on a guilt trip about.
You just said if you've been groomed, then you're allowed to groom other people? Is that what I said? Hey, remember when I banned chatters that just fucking totally make up stuff? Does anybody want to defend the chatter that I just banned? Any 20-month subscribers? Any 28-month subscribers in the chat? I don't think so. Why are you banning that guy? You are such an asshole. Power trip. Yeah, I'll defend them. If we play with the idea that you are the warden in your
No
chat, imagine how you
defense
take
for
care
the
of us
blood
prisoners. Yes, I pull you, okay, the thought criminal, over to the public square. I drag you in front of all of the other chatters, and I bring you right close, right there to the fupa, okay, of the warden itself. Bam! Permanently banned. I've now used you as a lesson. I will forget about you,
25-month
and most chatters will as well. Except, they will remember the lesson that I just imparted on them. Keep going.
What I had to do, and I did not allow the inmate's problem to become my problem. They had to do what they had to do. I did what I had to do, And they just have to let the rough end drag.
All right, Charlie.
Yo,
Thank you so much
10
for
months not being a chud.
talking with me.
No, we won't. I will always remember. You won't scare us. We are the people. You are nothing. True.
Very interesting. Thank you.
I love when you ban people. It's so
In our
entertaining.
genre
I'm
we
here
trust.
watch banning people. Don't be obtuse, especially deliberately. Dude, if you fucking put words in my mouth when I'm not making an argument like that at all, then yeah, you're gonna get fucking your ass cheeks clapped. Like,